everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Pride the Podcast. I am super excited to have the CEO of Kingdom Reign Entertainment, Emmy-nominated producer, and host of the Reality with the King podcast, Carlos King. Carlos!
Hi, guys.
I am
Hi.
stoked that you, first of all, we're so honored that you would come talk to us on our podcast. I can't get enough of your podcast. I love it. I listen to it for, you have been one person in reality TV that's always been able to get to like the meat of it. Like, ask the right questions. They aren't messy. There's no gotcha. There's just you asking like, what is going on and what's happening. And I just want to thank you for all your contributions to my TV watching for all these years, because I have been glued to the TV, honestly, because of you and what you've done. And I think that you have given little Black boys like me a chance to dream. So thank you so much for everything you've done.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well, thank you so much. That means the world to me. It's the reason why I do it. And for me, it's just to continue to be a voice and a representation for people who look like me, my community. So thank you. That's very nice of you. I appreciate that.
You've been called the king of reality TV. What drew you to storytelling through that medium in the first place?
I grew up watching loads of television. So I grew up in the 80s. So back then, it was a ton of nighttime soap operas like Melrose Place, Knots Landing. I'm aging myself. Dallas, child, Melrose Place, all those things. So for me, I wanted to do something in journalism. I watched the now late great Ananda Lewis, who is the reason why I wanted to get in front of the camera after seeing her host Teen Summit. And when you combine Ananda Lewis to Aaron Spelling, who created and executive produced the shows I mentioned, like Melrose Place, I wanted to do, no, he didn't do Melrose Place. He did another one, TJ Hooker, with Heather Locklear, because I want to give the people their props. So storytelling to me was always at the forefront of my life. Watching television, studying Barbara Walters and Oprah Winfrey. I studied the greats. I was a bookworm. I love reading stories. I love telling stories. So when God blessed me with the opportunity to produce reality television, I never looked at it as, oh, I get to like be messy, which is why I will never understand why that word gets attached to me.
Yeah.
I think it's because I'm gay and Black and feminine.
That's exactly it.
I'm a gay Black feminine man who work in television.
So you must be messy,
right?
And live for drama.
Oh yeah, because the shows I produce have that. So the cast ain't messy,
right? Right, because it couldn't be the cast.
You mean to tell me they make their own decisions? Say it ain't so. So, I got into reality television to tell real stories. And that's why I always tell people, I only talk about the integrity of the shows that I'm a part of. I can't speak on other people's reality shows. I know that some shows are fake. I know that some shows are scripted. That's their prerogative. But when it comes to a show that has my name on it, we believe in storytelling.
That's actually a good question. Actually, kind of leading to our next question. Like, how do you balance authenticity with entertainment when producing reality content?
It's all in the casting. If you have to produce somebody's real life, they're not a great star. They're not. When you look at someone like
quality.
You don't have star quality. There's no shade. When you look at Nene Leakes, no one can produce Nene Leakes, right? Like, no one can say to her, come up with, now why am I in it? Or come up with the most infamous gif around the world, which is her painting on a canvas and she looks over her shoulder and she turns back around and rolls her eyes. Like, that is somebody who is entertaining, but that is somebody that also, in the earlier parts of the season of the show, always had an interesting life. She came on the show discussing the paternity of her father. Second season, she was dealing with her son being disruptive in school and not getting the best grades. She's dealing with a divorce. She dealt with so much. So again, you have to cast the right person, and that's how your integrity will go. in terms of producing.
Yeah, because it all seems like you mentioned all those scenarios, and they're all rooted in reality. Dealing with real things, divorce, rowdy children.
I mean, I think that's why Nene, that's why I think that when reality TV started to get on these shows, as you kind of were talking about, started to become a little bit more produced and a little bit trying to push people in certain directions. That's why Nene was reacting the way it was. And I think that there's something, and you have been such a big advocate for this, Carlos, like there's something to say when they add people of color to the all white shows. And the ones I'm talking about, the Real Housewives of, for example, how they did Garcelle on Beverly Hills Housewives. And, we think about Mary Cosby on Salt Lake City, and you see those moments. And while they may have their faults, because, we can call them out for their faults, you can also see how, like, okay, but the way you talk to them and the way you do them is a little bit different how you manage the white women on the show. And, and I thought that one thing I loved about you is with Kim Zolciak and how she was with Atlanta, it was no different. Like, she was a part of that group, and it never felt like this random white woman is on this show with these black women. It never felt, and there was never a Kim is acting like a black woman or trying to do, like, Kim was just authentically herself. She was just there. Like, you never heard one thing no one ever said about Kim is like, oh, she acting black or she's trying to put on. And that is why we need producers like you back in the room, because now we're having these situations where they're forced to talk about race all the time and they're forced to do this. And it's like, well, those things exist, but what are we actually doing? Because then you end up icing out the woman of color. And like, I you and your shows and what you do. So what do you think about the current state of reality TV with that particular model that they're doing, where they have these, oh, you know what, we're going to bring in the first black Beverly Hills housewives or the first black housewives in Mormon Salt Lake City? Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, that's a great question and a great example you gave with Kim Zolciak. And the reason why it worked with Kim Zolciak, the reason why you never saw her try to be something she wasn't, is because Kim had a friendship with those ladies before there was a camera. And that's where you get it right. I think what we're seeing is when people are joining a cast that is already an established friend group. Let's have a real conversation. If you plant Carlos King, who has worked with everybody under the sun, black, white, Asian, Latina, I work with everybody, child. If you put me in a friend group of all white gay men that I've never been friends with, I definitely would feel like, okay, how do I navigate this? And they will feel the same way. And it will be these sort of nuances that you have to navigate on both ends. And that's the reason why it's so obvious when you see it on these shows. We're looking at the Real Housewives of Miami this season, and Gertie, not sure if you guys are watching it, but I feel like Gertie is going through something of that magnitude. And what's interesting is the majority of the cast are Latinas, who are considered women of color. But it also shows you that just because you are a minority, you don't understand the complexities of what a black woman is dealing with, especially a chocolate black woman like Gertie. So it is something that you see. It is something that is happening. And I think for me, it's one of those things where organic friendships are key, and education obviously is key as well when it comes to telling non-people of color and non-black people being okay with being educated on certain things, and being okay with having the uncomfortable conversations, right? And I think one thing I loved about Garcelle, and it's funny because a lot of people be like, oh, you're tough on Garcelle. I'm like, it's what you said earlier. I can look at somebody totally separate and say, in this particular situation, I felt like you were wrong here. It has nothing to do with race. It has to do with, like, I don't think you did the right thing in this particular case. But in this other case, I had an episode called Garcelle and the Gaslighters.
This is maybe I know exactly.
It was like her second season on the show.
It was during the conversation, I believe, that had to do with the after Kyle had accused her of like not paying, and then all of that started like coming. Yeah, I remember. I listened to everything you say, and I agree with 99% of it.
Thank you. So I'm like, what we're not going to do is have selective outrage. What we're not going to do is have selective memory. I've always had Garcelle's back. I'm the one who said Garcelle didn't need this show. I'm the one who said Garcelle, these ain't your friends. I'm the one who said Garcelle Sutton ain't your friend, child.
You tried to tell her a long time ago. That who did not try to tell her? It's like, Garcelle, it's interesting. And listen, Carlos, I ain't gonna even sit here and pretend like Dorit ain't a lot of things, but I'm like, you're calling Dorit out for something that Sutton does all the time, Garcelle. Like when you say like the way Dorit speaks to people that are of color and all that, I'm like, Sutton does it all the time, but she does it in a sweet Southern accent. And I'm from Texas, so me and Adam are from Texas. We know it's like, girl, that's how can you be so upset with Dorit when you under Sutton? And sure enough, now she learned, and unfortunately,
yeah. And guess what? I'm vindicated, but the crowd who tried to read me on social media, I'm like, and I'll say this once, I'll say it again. Carlos King is a humongous fan of Garcelle Bouvet. I was a fan when she was Garcelle Bouvet alone. I love her when she was fancy. But the thing is, I have said this numerous times on my podcast. I got a chance to meet her last year at the Essence Festival, and I apologized to her. And what I said to her is, if you think for 1 second that I don't have your back, I'm sorry, but I hope you know that I do. Like, I love you. Like, don't feed into what these fans are saying to you, because I know that you, Garcelle, don't listen to my podcast. You're busy. But don't take their word for it. And she could not have been more pleasant. So shout out to Garcelle. I also give Sutton her credit. I ran into her at dinner. Me and Sutton had a fantastic conversation. And I said to these two ladies that I understand how the sausage is made. So my opinion is never about who you are as a mother, a daughter. I don't get it. That's not my business. Right. It's about the actions that happens on the TV show in 42 minutes that we get to watch outside of commercials. And they both gave me so much love. Shout out to Garcelle and Sutton. But what I want the audience to know is, you can have an opinion about a Black person.
Yeah.
And it's not deemed as you don't have their back. I have had Garcelle's back more than any podcaster who looks like me ever.
100%.
Ever. But I'm also, the reason why my podcast is a huge success is because I'm also able to say, all right, Garcelle, baby, this time I don't agree with you. But hey, love you, sis. So I think we need to just start having those conversations globally so that we're able to come to a pleasant concluding dialogue.
Well, I agree. I mean, and you know what it is? It's a lot of these women. My roommate Ashley, who is also a part of the podcast, she said to sing you love, she hates she couldn't be here today. One of the things is that I believe that sometimes these women forget what they're saying and they're talking about when they have things that they say in the confessionals versus what they say. Like, I remember famously when Lisa Rinna was confronted and I was like, did you say my sister was close to death? And she's like, I don't think so, did I? Because they filmed so much that they really don't. And I think Garcelle goes through that a lot of like, that is not what I said to Rita. She's like, can someone roll the tape? Like, you absolutely said that. And she's like, oh, well, everybody else say something too. And I think that two things can be true. Garcelle, you said it, and yes, everyone else does say something as well, but it does, things are edited and everything I know that things feel a certain type of way. But Adam has the next question, because I can sit here and do this with you all day.
Well, I was going to say, talking about Atlanta, you deal with a lot of huge personalities. Like, how do you manage egos while keeping production running smoothly? Because I used to work on Love and Hip Hop, and baby,
which one? Which city?
Love and Hip Hop New York.
Him and Ashley were both on doing production. Our friend Charles Barker.
What seasons?
Oh God,
it was 8, I think 7 and 8.
Maybe
we have the sweatshirts for him. Yeah.
Who was on? Look, I'm so fascinated. Who was on that particular cast?
It was what's that white girl that lived in Jersey?
Mariah
Lynn.
Trina came in, and that's when she cut
Trina came
out.
on.
She came in from Miami and did a guest spot. Juju.
Was Joe Budden?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Erica Mena.
I don't think Erica was
No,
on there.
she wasn't there.
Oh,
Snoop.
was the season good, child? I mean, who wrote the stars, babe?
Yandy was there.
Okay,
Snoop was
Yandy.
there.
Yeah.
Okay. Love Yandy. That's my baby. Okay, fine. Go ahead.
We actually went to the season before. It was Cardi B's final season when she threw the shoe. We all were at the reunion for it.
Oh yeah, love Cardi. Okay, go ahead. But who was the Okay, so Yandy pretty much was the marquee. Okay, got it. Because I have to visualize that season who the marquee was. So I now got it. Okay.
Yeah, so like dealing with that, I was a production driver, so it was a lot of like, all right, well, your call time is 4:00. We didn't end up Bianca,
because she was never on time.
Yeah, it was like 6:30, and we're like, where is she? And they're like, she's still upstairs doing makeup, whatever. So it's like, how do you be, what is it, hard with a soft glove?
Yeah. So it's a dance.
Yeah,
it's a dance. It's a dance. My way of working with talent who may have a healthy ego, I look at it as somebody who may have a child that is acting out, right? Where you sort of have patience and you try your best to reason with them without attaching yourself to their behavior. And I think the mistake that people make is when they try to attach the behavior, sort of like, well, you gave me this, I'm gonna give you that. And listen, sometimes it works. Trust me, I've had moments in my career where that happened, right? But one thing I've learned is that doesn't work. What I found to be fundamentally healthy is at the end of the day, they just want to be heard. They do. And you got to have tough love and you got to have tough skin. And the way I used to deal with it when I was a showrunner was I would have a real conversation. I would literally be like, all right, say what you're going to say. and baby, you can talk for 45 minutes and I'm not going to interrupt you. I'm going to let you talk. And in the end, I'm going to say, okay, so phase 1 wrong, phase 2 wrong. I agree with you here, but you come to a healthy, happy medium, and that's the reason why the audience have now seen like Carlos loves all the girls, and it's like I do because they love me. And the reason why you see the relationships I have with the girls is because they're like, Carlos is fair. Carlos ain't gonna let this one get away with it, and not like he is fair. And they always said Carlos was fair. When we were right, he was like, you got that one, baby. But when we were wrong, he would say, you're wrong. And I think the mistake a lot of new producers make is they try to be friends with them and hang out with them, child, and withhold information. And that is the slippery slope. And it's sort of like, yes, have your relationship with them, like I have with my girls, but I never compromise my integrity for any of my cast members.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a new emerging with a lot of these castings. And so I kind of want to switch over to casting and how you got the right girl, because, we've seen Brynn from New York City Housewives. That was most recent. We've seen Monica come up, who was most recent. They keep having these women that they say are coming in and infiltrating the friend group and trying to get something out of people. Britt Eady is another example of that. Why do you think that casting directors for these shows, they're being accused of not vetting their talent before they're getting them on? Because it's like, well, you didn't know that Monica was this online persona that was coming into this group to do this. Like, you guys really didn't know this. Like, you didn't know that Britt Eady was like this person who had these things in her past that could like that she carried quote unquote allegedly guns and things of that nature. This is alleged. She has said that she did not. So those things, like, what do you think is the case of why we keep getting these casting blunders, if the fans are calling them? Because like, why are we at this point that we can't see this? You know, we can see these girls come on the screen and be like, something may not be right about this. Like, why do you think that?
Well, look, it's not in the casting director's defense. It's not their job to do a background check. It's not their job to do the vetting. That's just the honest to God truth. That's not their job at all. What happens is, I think casting directors meet people daily, and you find somebody that shines amongst the rest of the pack, and then you submit them to the production company, and then the production company decides, oh, this person can move forward to the network seeing them. So I want to explain that as a process.
Good.
It's a process of vetting.
So the fans can listen and know.
Yeah, it's casting director, then production company, then network, right?
Yeah.
So that's the way it works when you're casting a new person. But I also think, look, we do live in a world right now where everybody wants to be on TV in some form of fashion, which is fine.
Yeah.
I think what's happening is people joining the show for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And when I say the wrong reason is they have no plan of giving you the real reality. They just don't.
Yeah.
For some of them, it's a get quick rich scheme.
Yep.
I'm sorry, get rich quick scheme, or get fame quickly scheme. Get my followers up, let the world know who I am. Gone are the days, unfortunately, where you had somebody like, hey, I want all those things, but I'm also aware that it's a job. I'm also aware that I signed on to give you my real life. And when something happens to me, I'm going to give it to you. We have people now who's making stuff up. We have people now who are hiding their reality.
Yeah.
And no one is at fault for that, from the casting director to the production company to the network, because we're only able to understand who you are based on your casting tape, based on how you may act in a few scenes. But once we start filming for weeks, then you start to see, oh, wait a second, we may have made the wrong decision. But again, I equate it to a CEO at a Fortune 500 company that hires the perfect VP position. And the next thing you know, they're horrible at their job, but they gave a great interview. So look at it that way. We've all met people who are good at interview, but horrible at execution.
Yeah, I didn't think of it that way. That's a really good way of looking at it. You hire them, because there are people who give a really good interview and then they start working. It's like, so you just studied what you needed to study to get through the interview process. And now you're here and it's like, well, damn, you don't know how to do X, Y, Z. And that's why people pad their resumes a lot. They're like, oh yeah, I've done all of this X, Y, Z. And they get on the job on the floor and they're like, I actually have not really done this.
I had two people at work get let go just recently because of they claimed, oh, I knew how to do this design app or whatever. And they were like, where is it? And they're like, oh, well, you see, and they're like, oh no, baby, you got it.
No, it happens. So again, it happens in corporate America. So let's be clear, it's also going to happen when it comes to reality television.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Yes.
It's a hit.
Thank you.
What was the inspiration and why Huntsville?
Well,
so I met
Huntsville. My family is from Huntsville, Texas.
Let me
they are. Oh, Texas, not Alabama.
Not Alabama, but Huntsville, Texas. Like when I first heard of the show, I was like, "Oh my God, it's Texas!" And then it wasn't, but it is. I want you to go to Huntsville, Texas, though, for that very reason.
Oh Lord.
Okay.
I told you I was going to ask him this. I need you to go to Huntsville, Texas, for that very reason. Now it may turn into After Lockup, like the other show,
After Lockup.
But I think you should. Like, I think there needs to be some Texas-based love there because of very similar characters in Texas. My cousin is one of them. She told me to bring this up. She said, pitch to me and tell him I live in Huntsville, because I was like, yeah. She said, wait, tell him to do Huntsville, Texas. I was like, I'll tell him, but you know. it'll be a mess. It will be a mess.
I love it so much. Hey, cousin. So no, I never heard of Huntsville. Look, now it's my first time hearing there's a Huntsville, Texas child.
Yeah.
So never heard of Huntsville, Alabama. I met a couple who were married at the time named Melody Martell, and I fell in love with them as people. Years later, I'm like, you guys still want to do a show? They always wanted to do a show about property preservation. And I just saw something bigger for them. And I created the idea of like, let's do a show about couples in Huntsville, with you guys being a part of it. But introduce me again, real friend group. It wasn't like get these random strangers. They introduced me to their friend group, and the rest is history. So for me, it has been one of the greatest gifts of my life, because to leave one franchise and to create my own is all about, hard work, God's grace, number one, of course, but also just the idea of telling stories in various aspects of life in various locations. So Love and Marriage Huntsville being the number one show on OWN for the past, I think, 6 years, which is great. In addition to the fact that we're celebrating our 10th season Saturday, July 19th at 8 o'clock on OWN. It's so happy, but no, it's a great show. I'm super proud of it, and it really does make me smile big.
I love it so much. I'm going to tell you another show of yours that I really love, because I don't, and maybe you do know this, maybe bringing these women back to the forefront after years of being out of the spotlight, Hollywood Divas. That particular show I was glued to, because I feel like every woman on that show, Golden Brooks, Countess Vaughn, Paula J. Parker, they never really got the respect and love that they were due, and you did that for them, and having them on that show. How was that? You grew up watching TV like we did and stuff. How was having all of those women? Like, Countess is a whole vibe. Like, Countess Vaughn, and seeing her on the shows, like she's just like she is how I remember her on TV. Like, she was just so great. So what was your process behind that? Was that something you were like, I really want to do this like show that encapsulates all these Black Hollywood stars, these women? Like, what was your whole thought process behind that?
It was the first show that my production company, Kingdom Reign Entertainment, was able to produce. I was still working on Housewives of Atlanta when TV One approached me to do a show about Black actresses in Hollywood. I'm like, sign me up, child. So we did a casting process, and so many actresses auditioned for that show that I won't name.
Yes.
We had a lot. And it was very difficult to choose the 5 we selected because there was so many great candidates. That show, as you could tell with my reaction, will forever be the love of my life, because it's the first show my company was able to produce. And it's what you said. I grew up watching these women. And you could have never told me that I would be producing Golden Brooks and Countess Vaughn.
Golden Brooks is the moments you had on that show with just her alone, unmatched. Elise Neal, like that, and I love having Lisa Wu, who I know you had the previous relationship with Housewives of Atlanta, come onto that show, and it worked because she also was doing her life. Like, I want to act, I want to see, like, it was something new, and I feel like if the show was still around today, Nene Leakes would be on that show. I could see on that show.
Nene Leakes, Tammy Roman. It would have been so many people, but no. It was lighting in a bottle. It really, really, really was. And the addition of Lisa Wu from Atlanta Housewives, who had an acting career, but obviously wasn't known for that. She was known for being a housewife. Yeah. So to have her go to LA and be around these credible actresses, and they'll be like, who is this? It was,
she mixed it up perfectly. Like
everything.
It was so good.
So, Carlos, the time has come, unfortunately. We do have to let you go. But before we do, I do want to ask one more question we ask all of our guests. What does pride mean to you?
Pride means being prideful, right? It means being proud to be able to live within yourself and be comfortable within yourself. And whatever that is for you as an individual. I'm an openly gay Black man. So for me, I'm blessed that I get to live a life where I am proud to be openly gay. I'm not in the closet, child. The voice gives it away, honey. Even if I wanted to try. But
they be online though. You be looking. I said, look at Carlos online. People went crazy over a video you did. I believe it was the Keith Leash challenge that you did. That tell you the comments on that, because I was in the comments. I was like, oh, look at them. Everybody trying to slide. They're like, Carlos can get it. I said, Carlos know what he's doing. I love that for you. I love that for your friend.
No, and listen, who knew wearing a fitted would cause so much controversy, child? It was crazy. I'll do another one. But no, I'm proud to be in the skin that I'm in. I'm proud to be a feminine gay person, because that's a whole nother conversation of discourse and disrespect amongst some of the folks in our community. We'll talk about that another time, child. So I'm proud. I'm proud to be me. And there's not one person breathing who has the capabilities of diminishing the light that God has given me. I didn't ask to be this way. Hey, Lady Gaga, I was born this way. So
yes,
I love my community. I love the gay community. And I also just love having conversations with other people who aren't gay about the community, because I feel like this. We, as the gay community, one thing I will say, I want all of us to be comfortable having tough conversations with people who may have said things that were like, now, why would you say that? Only because I feel like we live in such a nuanced world that you can't cancel somebody out because of something that they may have said that honestly, and when I say this, I'm not being mean, that honestly could be ignorant. And when I say ignorant, I mean they don't have the education to understand certain things. So I am focused on like really having tough conversations with people within other communities about the gay community with my podcast, because I feel like I am an openly gay Black man with a hit podcast and everybody wants to talk to me. So why not use that platform to say, hey, come here, talk to me. I'm curious about things you said. Not here judging you, because that's only God's job, but I want to have a conversation. And if you are consistently ignorant, then that's one thing, right? But if you're able to walk away saying, I now at least understand what they meant. May not have liked it, may not have agreed with it, but I understand now that that's how they felt in the moment, or that's what they truly meant and may have come across wrong. So I think being prideful also means we can't live in a silo. We have to be able to just have conversations. And I do think what's missing is nobody wants to talk anymore. They want to cancel you out. You make a comment where we listen. Having this microphone is dangerous at times, because you sometimes get tripped up on your words.
Tell me about it. They done been on my neck.
Yeah, right.
Like, you can't say that, and I'm like, well, damn. I stay in trouble.
And I think it's what, like, again, Amar Wiggins, who it's funny. I tell him like, I'm your gay godfather, honey. So I'm gonna make sure you good, child. When he had that incident that happened outside of the courthouse with Diddy and the baby oil, like, I love the fact that he immediately said, guys, I'm sorry. And he's another pillar of the gay community. He's a proud gay Black man. We just celebrated Pride recently in New York City together recently. So I want all of us as a community to just hear people out and not get so focused on feeling like you have to cancel somebody out.
I love that. I mean, I think cancel culture has become very dangerous. I think cancel culture has also become a way of shedding people up and not hearing them out fully. It's like, and sometimes education is important. And I mean, actually all the time education is important, but like people really don't know sometimes. Like and I know that sounds crazy, and people are like, well, they're older, they should know. And it's like, not always. Sometimes when you're in your own community, in your own silo, in your own world, like you're not in your own bubble, you're not with everyone else, you don't see where they're coming from, you don't see that. So I appreciate you saying that. I think that's so true. We're gonna have to continue this conversation. We need to come to your podcast now. We need to come over there.
Yes, you better invite your son, baby. I know that's right, child. Yes,
I sure did. I said I'm coming right to the door because I want to talk more about like Jersey and all of that, because we didn't get to get in that. But I like
Adam, yes,
we you know, Teresa over there, and I love how you kept it real. Like, Melissa, you know, you came onto the show to play it. Like, you know what you did. Like, you know.
And listen, and just after that, I don't dislike Melissa Gorga. I know she thinks. Listen, Melissa thinks I hated her, which is I don't hate anybody. Like,
no,
I don't know you. I don't know you to hate you. I don't know you to dislike you. I have an opinion based on what I know, and I've said it on my podcast too. Sis, you did that, and it worked for you, and kudos to you.
Yeah, but like, you know why you came on the show? She's like, I didn't, and it's like, listen,
like, I know, like own it. I feel like this. If she owned it, I promise you, nobody would. They'll be like, she owned it. Keep it moving. And I feel like. And I said this to her on my podcast, not personally, but because I know she listens. I said, the moment you own it, you should say afterwards, and I've been here for 10 years. I'd be like, yeah.
We would eat that up. We would be like, yes, queen. We would eat that up.
So apparently, I know what I'm doing. So call me a producer next time. I would have given her the best read. And the gays and the days and the girls and the twirls, the honey, would have been like, oh, you ate that, Melissa Gorga. Work. But it's when you don't own it, people have a problem with it. So I'll end with that.
Yeah. She said, I got to get a check. So y'all have to figure something out. She's doing Rhode Island Housewives. So I'm like, get it, Dolores. But Carlos, real quick, if you could just give a little plug about your reality podcast, Reality with the King. Tell our listeners about where they can listen to that at and everything, because they need to get on the same train I'm on, because it's everything. So tell them.
Thank you so much. So Reality with the King has now partnered with Charlamagne Tha God's Black and Fed Network. So we are dropping 4 episodes a week. We are recapping the Real Housewives of Miami, the Real Housewives of Orange County. We are also going to finish up the 3-part reunion of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. We're also including a reality crime segment onto the podcast, where we recently spoke about Gia Giudice writing a letter to Trump to pardon her father, Juicy Joe, so that he can now visit or live in the United States, so he could be around his daughters full time. So it's a great podcast. It's wherever you get your podcast. And we also do celebrity interviews. We recently did an interview with Angela Oakley from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and also Miss Juicy from Little Women. That you can also find on my YouTube channel at @TheCarlosKing_. So I'm all around, baby. You can find me.
So it was so heartwarming. And again, it is just so great to continue to see a Black man giving back to Black women and making sure that they feel seen and heard. And you've disproved, like, not all Black men hate Black women. So thank you for that. And
no. Yes, like now. And again, if you guys think there's a Black man who hates Black women that we know, I'll talk to them. I study Barbara Walters, Diane Sawyer, and Oprah. I want to talk to everybody so that I'm able to be a vessel for a conversation that needs to be had. So, no, I love Black women. Shout out to all the Black women in my life, and especially to my audience, who I love dearly. And shout out to my gay community, too, who I love.
Yes. Well, y'all heard it here. Thank you. This is the hardest working man in reality TV and in the world. Carlos, we love you. Thank you for joining us. You got to come back and play with us sometime. And like I said, I'm coming over there and knocking on your door. I'm coming on the
And
podcast.
I'll open it for you to come on the podcast and we can have a good old kiki about some of these girls on reality.
Yes. Thank you so much, Carlos. We appreciate you and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks, love. Have a good one, guys.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.